Hi everyone, and welcome to a new little video. During the last weeks or even month, I was reading a lot of posts on forums or other places regarding the matching of libraries. A lot of people were asking, how can I match this library with this library, or does string library X layer great, or play well with another string library. And I thought I'd make a little tutorial about this, or actually not really a tutorial, but just an like an like an open session, um, to show just a few string libraries and layer, not really to match each library with another one, but just to layer them and present you the unique sounds they create. So I'm actually a big fan of layering. I don't want to say that one single library doesn't do it for me. Of course it does, but most of the time I enjoy layering the libraries, especially string libraries, and especially legato or sustains, because when you listen to real string players, every violin player or viola or cello and contrabass player checks out the other players, and they constantly tune into each other, if you can say that. They are constantly tuning, and they're constantly, there are little glitches and stuff. And if you have a string library or especially a legato patch and you play it back, it's always one transition or one note going into another. And I think if you use several libraries, you create kind of a, of course, not just copying the MIDI parts, but playing them individually. You create a lot of rub, if you can say that, rub, or different, yeah, you simulate different players. Even if you just layer like two libraries, you create two different sections, and therefore these the created notes don't sound exactly the same. They're constantly different. So okay, let's just, enough blah. Let's just um, start here. And I created a little background track, a string track, and it's I done these with the Symphonia 1 sustain strings, the stage strings, I think, and stage microphone, sorry. And it's just to make this video easy, because you could talk hours on this topic. I just, to make it a little bit easier, just created a background track with the Symphonia strings, and we will just use other libraries to create the Legato melody. Okay, so first I just play you the track. Okay, let's just zoom in a little bit to let you see what's going on here. Okay, so this is the backing we're going to use. And as you can see, I applied a little bit of CC1 modulation with a mod wheel, to make it a little bit more alive. And also you see that the parts are pretty, you should see this when I zoom in a little bit, the parts are pretty wacky. Okay, so it's not the result of that I played it with the keyboard by hand. It's the result of me adjusting these notes. Well, I mean, why do I do this? Because when you play something with your hands, you leave gaps, just like here. But the difference is this gap is it was intended to be here. Okay, so but you could never, or of course you could if you're very trained and skilled keyboard player, which I'm not. I mentioned that several times before. But and even for a trained keyboard player, it's sometimes hard to you know, get the because you sooner or later you have to move a finger off the key, and you know, hold down another one. So you leave a gap, no matter how small it is, you leave a gap. And this tells the sample to just stop playing and start playing again. I mean, if you have overlaps going on like here or here, of course one note stops, but there's an overlap going on, and it closes this gap. And if you have like a chord structure going on like this, you at least do some fake transitions between the notes, because the ear cannot really distinguish where one note stops and where one note starts. So it's pretty important. I always do that. I only clean up MIDI files when I send them to my orchestrator, or they going to be played by real orchestra and I have to print out the notes, etc. But if you want to have something real, or you know, real from a sequencer or samples, you definitely have to apply additional processing to the note length, and of course to the dynamics and stuff. Because if you would just, you know, play it by hand, it would just sound like you would play keyboard by hand. Okay, so what basically what it is. Okay, let me just play you the legato melody with, and okay, I just mentioned that first. I'm not trying to get too deep into each quality of each library. Okay, this is not a product comparison video. This is just to let you or to show you how the different legato patches match with each other, and the sounds we're going to use. And I just play you the melody with the cinematic strings 2, violins 1. Okay, here we are. Okay, just another thing I forgot to mention. Let me just zoom into the tempo track. Okay, so there's a little bit of going on here. It's not just straight tempo. It varies a little bit. I can just play it again. I can turn off on the click. It would help. Okay, so stuff like this, because it simulates a little bit of retards, and it adds a little bit of liveliness, you know, as someone is standing there conducting this. I mean, more or less. Okay, but it's not. You know, we all know that samples do not sound like the real thing, but we just try to get close to it, so it doesn't sound robotic or anything. Okay, so I just play this little melody, or at least I try. I mean, according to Yoda, there's no try. Okay, let me turn the click a little bit down. Okay, I just recorded it so we can check it out. I mean, you see it above, but I just muted it, and so I just left it here, so in case I forget it. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's just show both parts. So that's the melody above, and I mean the controlling data is not really perfect, the modulation, but could go into that a little bit later. So let's just listen to it again. Okay, let's just go into here and do the mod wheel again. Record that separately. Oops, again. Okay, we could do the last one a little bit more softer, and rise a little bit again here. Okay, so what libraries are we going to use for this video in general? Okay, as you already heard, I used cinematic strings too, and the other libraries I'm going to use will be the Adagio violins. We could experiment a little bit doing using the ensemble patches or just one of the divisi patches. And furthermore, I'm going to use the Sable Violin 1 legato patches and also the VSL dimension strings. Okay, so where do we start? I guess we just, try to work a little bit or just try to layer a little bit. And I would just say let's just start with the Adagio violin. So I'm just making sure to play. Okay, just adjusting the controllers. Okay. I will leave the, just let me mute the cinematic strings. Here we go. Okay, the control on Adagio violins is a little bit different than cinematic strings. So I was doing the general dynamics with expression, and I can use the mod wheel to have, to put a little bit more intensity. Okay, so let's just overdub record the mod wheel info. Okay, one spot here was, okay, this one. So maybe I should go more down here. So maybe the start, like maybe doing this one closed, so you have sounds a little bit. Let's do it like this. Okay, so we could also go into the Adagio interface, sorry, and adjust with key switches, the different dynamics, and of course it would be sound much more real. Sorry, trolls, not really going to each library in so much in detail. So it's just more or less about the sound, and you get the idea. Okay, so let's just layer it with let's just listen to it solo with cinematic strings and Adagio. So that's Adagio only. And here we have cinematic strings only. Also the Adagio strings. I just next to the mixer here, so I just will put the strings a little bit more to the left side, the first violins, so it sounds a little bit more. Okay, I'm playing back both. Okay, and with the track in the background. Okay, I mean it's all tiny nuances, and you know, it totally is a question of taste. You know, I mean, one thing is obvious: you get. Sorry, I just muted my microphone. You get more rub, you know, by the notes are rubbing more, and the samples, because they are obviously two different libraries played by two different players, and you know, conducted and produced by two different developers. So there is definitely a difference, and we hear the difference in this melody. And I mean, this is good because yeah, so you get a little bit more of a live feeling, really. At least this is my impression. So we could just play it back with cinematic strings again. And Adagio comes in. Let's just mute cinematic strings. Okay, so we could already go a little bit crazy and you know, just do one more overdub played with one of the Divisi legato patches. Okay. Okay, I stopped recording with the expression, so let's overdub this real quick. Maybe I just play back only the ensemble patch, the Divisi patch. Sorry, too soft. Sorry for that little bump here. We're just trying to correct that. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Just go really low here. Okay, and layer the modulation again. Maybe also a little bit too much. Okay, let's just autosave for a moment. And then we listen back to the ensemble, Adagio ensemble violins and the divisi section. Okay, so you can already hear like little nuances going on, especially in the divisi section. There's just one nice little legato interval going on. It's more like a portamento, a short portamento thing, and it, you know, if you combine these patches together, it's not just one, you know, obvious legato thing. And I mean, we're digging a little bit deeper, especially when we come to dimension strings, because it's really cool, because you have basically 8 solo violins, and you can combine them, or yes, basically do the same what we do already, but yeah, it's a nice effect because it's 8 solo violins and recorded differently, I assume, by different players. They are also, I think they use different microphones or different equalizations, how you say, so different sounds basically, and it creates quite surprisingly huge ensemble. I mean, because everybody is using in different, playing in different ways, you know, even if you just copy the parts. But we get to that. Okay, let's just listen back to cinematic strings and the divisi section only from Adagio. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry. Okay, so I mean, it's pretty subtle, but you know, I mean, as mentioned before, it's all for the rub. I mean, all these libraries are pretty excellent. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in my template. But of course, it's also a matter of taste. You know, sometimes you like something magically happening between two specific libraries, and this is exactly what you're looking for. And I just like to be flexible. You know, I even had situations when customers were asking me for a specific library, and I had to use a specific library for legato or for staccato patches. And I mean, that's just easy one. You just copy over, you know, just one line, and you got the new result instead of reloading everything. Or okay, so let's just head over and do the same for the sable violins. Okay, click. Okay, I definitely have to play again the modulation, as I mentioned. Did I mention that I'm not really a good keyboard player? Oh, that was too soft. Sorry, let's do it again. No? Okay, this one I didn't like. Let's make it a bit shorter. And come in a little bit more soft. More like this. And also we have to make sure, because of the attacks, because you can go really harsh with a harsh start, which I really like about this library. You can really go. It's not, you know, like a slow fade into the note like this. So it's right away, it's here. And what I was trying to say is that we have to make sure to, because we control the main dynamics with a mod wheel here, we can use the velocity for switch between legatos intervals, like this. If I press hard, and if I press really soft, you hear like more a portamento-ish slide. Okay, so we could use this especially on this note. Let's listen to this solo. Oops. Maybe here too. That sounds nice. Let's go a little bit more intense on this spot. Let's see how this sounds. Was a little bit too late. Like this. More soft here. It's also tricky. You simply can not just copy and paste a part to another library, because they all behave different, you know. So it's pretty important that you take good care of the controller. I mean, controllers are really everything. I mean, it's 80% if your line or your melody sounds good. I mean, if you just play it with full throttle and don't care about the dynamics and the MIDI commands and what the library is able to do, your line will definitely not sound good. Maybe go up a little bit here. maybe do one here. Okay, and let's just layer this one with, starting with cinematic strings. It sounds pretty cool because the cinematic strings sections are, I'm not exactly sure how big they are, but I think it's like 12 or 14 first violins, and Sable is just 4, you know, and Adagio, I think, I'm not really sure. I should have read this before, but I think it's 8 or 12. I'm not really sure. Sorry, but it's definitely smaller than 14. So this adds up, give it a nice effect, because especially if you're going with not smaller sounding, don't get me wrong, it's not smaller sounding libraries, but it's just less players. Okay, so let's just go with Sable with the Divisi section, and okay, let's just listen with Adagio Ensemble. Yeah, I should go much more soft towards the end, but I think you get the idea. Okay, let's go on, and let's just mute these parts, this one, and head over to dimension strings. And I mean, listen to the... If you hear some portamento intervals, I have to reprogram. I maybe do a separate tutorial about the assignment and programming of my Vienna instruments, because I did, like, that if you, I mean, basically as it is with other libraries too, if you press hard, you get a legato interval, and if you press soft, you hear a portamento. Okay, so let's just play a few of these, and I might just, play 4 and copy the rest. But okay, no click. Here we go. Okay, the last one is definitely too much. So, but maybe we could go, I think I tried it on this one. Okay, so the portamento intervals in general are a bit late, so you have to move this a little bit to get it really good. I mean, just listen back with click. Okay, so it goes a little bit with a flow. It's not, it doesn't sound good if you just start a portamento interval directly from 1, because there's always a little bit delay. I mean, your sequencer can't mostly foresee when a note starts. I mean, it can, but actually for the legato stuff, it's better to start a little bit early. Okay, so let's play the next one. Oh, no click. Now you can already hear, I didn't EQ them differently, they are sounding actually different. The first one, second. Okay, third one. Just to give you an idea how they all sound. Fifth. Okay, and so on. I just play a few now. Hopefully hit the right notes. Okay, so let's just copy the first one and just move it a little bit. Oops. Let's just get rid of the portamento interval here and here, and maybe just do one here, and just to quickly get some different, just move them a tad forward, so they're playing a bit, the guy is rushing a little bit, well, just a bit. Okay, so just listen. No, just let's play the fourth one. Okay, I think I did a little mistake here. Here. Okay, so I basically leave in all these little errors, This guy's rushing again a little bit. Sorry, late solo. Okay, but if you listen again, now for the first, don't forget to solo my vocals too, to the first violins, the first 4 violins. Okay, so you, especially here in this spot, you already have a little bit of human errors going on, so it doesn't all sound the same. Okay, so let's just copy, the third to the fifth, and play the first to the eighth, and just play violin 6. Checking if I have some other library, because sorry, I have the cinematic strings going on too, but not for the solo ones. Okay, they were not soloed before, so that's really just that's just dimension strings now. Maybe it's time to mention something else before I forget that. I used just Valhalla Vintage Verb, the Bright Hall with these settings for the general orchestra reverb. So that's basically everything you hear for strings except for VSL dimension strings. I used Valhalla Room with these settings, and just to create, I mean, we can listen to the dimension strings. We still have one to play. Just with the, so I mute. Okay, just so you have evidence. I'm muting the general hall, so it's just the little ambience. Without. I mean, it's actually not really a big room. It sounds really like a, recorded from in front somewhere, with some deca tree a little bit, maybe a little bit further away, and the room is not really that big. But I just set up I did it to set up the pre-delay with around 60 milliseconds to get that bouncing effect from the back wall. Okay, let's hear them try again. Sorry, the controller was a little bit off. Okay, and listen back again with the orchestral general hall. Okay, maybe a little bit too long, but I think it's okay. Okay, let's just quickly record Violin 7. Oh man, I'm so proud of myself. I didn't do any playing mistakes by now. I was really nervous by that, by recording. Just something different, when you have a recording program going, or just standing here and or sitting here and recording strings for yourself. And I mean, that would be pretty disgusting because I would be cursing all day because of my playing errors. Okay, so anyway. Oh, I should play with click maybe. Okay, so if we just check these parts, they're completely individual. I mean, in general, you have some, because I'm holding some notes longer than others, but it doesn't matter because the legato takes care of it, of doing the transition to the next note. Let's just listen back to all 8 violins. I have to do it separately because not muting my voice again. So generally it sounds pretty rich already, even though it's just, the concept of recording or creating the library with just solo instruments. So now we get a little bit, let's get crazy and just layer dimension strings with sable. Just have to make sure that sometimes you hear some volume differences. I'm just trying to match the volume between all the libraries. Okay, let's listen to Sable again. Okay, sorry, in the last round I should have mentioned that I just played Sable along with a backing track. I just silently soloed the dimension strings, so you couldn't see that in the mixer. Sorry about that. But okay, let's do some more layering, and let's this time try dimension strings with Adagio ensemble. Sorry. Yeah, right now I mention it that they are still muted, and yeah, should unmute them. Here we go. Okay, one more round. Well, let's just get a little bit crazy again and layer the divisi section from Adagio. So sorry, I mean Adagio violins, the ensemble and the divisi section and dimension strings. Okay, and another round with just VSL dimension strings and the cinematic violins. Sorry, cinematic strings violins. Okay, so I should have also mentioned, I think I mentioned it already, but I didn't do any processing except the reverb I showed earlier, and no equalizing, I think, except no. I was thinking I was applying some equalizer to the VSL dimension strings, but I just realized I took it out for the demo, so on purpose probably, so you hear the original signal. So I didn't want to, put something on a library and you may wonder if you own the library also that it doesn't sound like in my video. So I just wanted to make sure it's all the same. Okay, I think we could just, easily copy. Let's mute the VSL strings, and let's just, to save some time, let's just copy a part, the violin 1 part here, and let's apply it to the Albion high legato strings. Okay, so I just copied over the part from cinematic strings 2 and applied it to Albion, the high strings legato patch, and just listen to this. Maybe just solo for a second. Let me solo my voice, and to make sure it's plays back okay. Quick autosave going on. Okay, that's probably a bit too soft, so let's just raise this. Oops. Oh, I realize the notes are too low. Yep. So maybe I should, yeah, just why not? Let's play it up an octave. Okay, so let's just see. Okay, I should just get a little bit rid of the dynamic here and move it up again. Okay, I should do some, as you can see, it's not working really to just simply take the dynamics from some cinematic strings. So they deserve some own recorded dynamics. I think just for the easiness, I should just put all velocity, the whole velocity to the same level. Okay, they really react really fast somewhere in the middle here, so we have to do some correction later. Just unsolo this and play it back with just alone on its own. Make sure everything else is muted. That's a bit unfair because I don't really, it's a little bit too soft here. Okay, and let's just layer that with the cinematic strings again, which are played an octave lower. And let's do another test with simply copying over this part and mute the cinematic strings again, and play back the same with the let's make okay, this is the other legato patch from Albion 1, which is recorded in octaves. It sounds pretty cool. A little bit too soft. Okay, and now let's get a little bit crazy again and do the following. We just take dimension strings again, and let's move the first 4 violins up an octave and leave the violin 5 to 8 down as before, and let's also get Sable involved and the Adagio Violin. Let's listen how this sounds. Probably maybe too loud for the backing track, but I will just make sure to adjust the volume while playing. Also sounds pretty nice. I mean, you can judge for yourself, you know. I really try to not get too much into what I like or what's gorgeous or what not. You should decide for yourself and see what results you can get. And even if you just got, I mean, sorry as it appears, as I'm, you know, like presenting all the stuff I purchased, but I mean, I really just want to give you an idea for as much libraries as possible. I mean, of course, there are a lot of more string libraries available, and I can't care about them all here. Also, in fairness, you might have seen that I have some Los Angeles scoring strings patches in here. But I just have to be fair and say I just own the light version of it, and I don't own the DVC sections, which are really the very excellent part of this library. So I don't want to give a wrong picture about Los Angeles scoring strings and just play the you know, like the whole ensemble legato patches. I mean, they sound cool, but I mean, to be fair, for my template, I now have so much legato instruments going, and I think I have in my palette, in my personal palette, I have just enough colors to choose from. So that's why I just have the spiccato patches in here, which are, sorry, I have to say that, but they are really, really awesome. I mean, they really add some spice, and they sound really, how do you say, really equal. There are not really jumps between different notes, and you can really play fast passages. But I think I may cover the spiccato or staccato stuff in another tutorial, and just keep going with the legato stuff. Okay, so let me just think for a moment. I think we covered a lot of stuff already. We could just do some other thing and just play the Adagio violins again, and the let's just, you know, okay, let's do the following. I know I just muted that. Let's unmute this and let's raise the first violins of cinematic strings, and let's go a little bit more. Okay, that's an octave up now, and let's go a little bit crazy, you know, and let's just play everything except I'll be on high octave legato patch, but let's play everything else. Okay. Okay, that sounds pretty nice already. Damn, I did again. Okay, so let's just try some, just some other um, reverb options. I mean, just to go through a few. I mean, I don't want to get now into a reverb tutorial, but just maybe apply some really some of the random hall space here. I mean, random space means there are little algorithms going on which constantly move around the sound a little bit, and it changes slightly, so you could, I mean, it adds a lot of dimension in general to the whole mix because it slightly moves in frequencies and adds some things, and it never stands still, it constantly moves a bit. I mean, you could do a little comparison to a real orchestra hall, and the players are not stone, they are moving, and the public is moving, or the crowd or whatever, so you get a little bit movement of the whole space. So you could kind of interpret it like this, define it like this. Okay, let's just play it again and maybe do a little bit more wet. Okay, that's pretty wet hall, pretty big hall or long hall. I mean, actually, it's not really that long, but I mean, it's almost maybe on the edge of too much reverb. But I mean, that's totally matters if you have an exposed string section and you really want it ethereal or kind of magic and flying and flowing. It's a good thing to do, to add more reverb. Of course, the opposite, if you just mute the whole thing and just leave the, I think, what did I use for just dimension strings? I used a bit of Valhalla room to add some ambience, and everything else is without reverb. So you could listen to all these libraries in a dry version. Okay, definitely got a nice sound too. Totally, I would make it totally dependable on the project, and sometimes it's really nice to have a lot of reverb, and sometimes it's definitely nice to have no reverb at all, to bring it really up your face, but still have I mean, you realize there's still kind of a smooth sound going on by just layering all the libraries, because you create a really deep sound, because every library, as mentioned in the beginning, is recorded different, and it was were different players and different producers, different developers, and they all have their own brilliant ideas. And I think it's really a cool thing to bring it all together. Okay, so again, I'm not saying that one library only doesn't do it. It of course does it, definitely. It always depends on your arrangement and your writing skills, and just layering a few libraries doesn't make your sound doesn't make your track sound good or better. it's just a nice tool to get a little bit more rub and a little bit more an alive sound. Okay, and I think you get this definitely a bit closer to the sound of when you have like real players playing, and you know, because real players definitely always tune into each other again, and they create all these different characters on their instruments. And I think you can reach that with like at least using like 2 or 3 libraries. And I would also make sure the more libraries you use, you just take care probably about smaller sections. So it wouldn't be, I mean, it of course it has a certain sound. You have like 50 or 60 first violins going on, but I think it would be more, yeah, let's say, I don't know, educated to just take care a little bit of the sizes and well, maybe that's the wrong word too, but you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, if you add more libraries, it can get really swampy real quick if you just use big sections. So I would make sure to get more divisi sections or solo violins or smaller sections in general. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little one, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it. Would be glad about that, and see you next time. Bye.